Final minute, 22 seconds in Cleveland. And the Kings, with a big push at the end of this game, they have gone on a nice run and they now lead it 101 to 95. So it could be a road win, but still some good time left with 1:22 on the clock and a Cleveland timeout. All right, no Fox tonight, no Davis, no Mitchell for Cleveland. Cavaliers with only one loss on their home floor. All right, that's where we're at. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Kings post-game show. Not quite yet a post-game show, and this would be a big-time win. The Kings trailed by one entering the fourth. They were down by, 6 in the fourth. They have gone on a really nice run right now, and they lead at 101 to 95. I'm looking, at everything here and, just recapping this coming down the stretch. I mean, really impressive what they've been able to do here in the last couple of minutes. Really impressive. I mean, it was 95 to 87. All right. 95 to 87. So the Kings have now gone on a big time run after being down 95 to 87. Can they hold on and get a big time road win against a team, as I said, that's only lost one time on their home floor? Good to have you with us here on the post-game show. And that was a big shot by Keegan Murray, or excuse me, it was by Keegan, but Kevin Huerter, with a big three as well. Hello in Chile, Eduardo. How are you? All right. What a hell of a run by the Kings, though. Right now, a 14-0 run in the fourth. All right. Good stuff right there. Again, with 1:16 left. And we'll see. Good game for Murray tonight. No question, making his threes. If the Kings win this game, it's going to be pretty interesting because they have not been good from the foul line. They've really hurt themselves from the foul line. But right now, they are on their way to hopefully holding on, all right, and giving the Cleveland Cavaliers only their second loss on their home floor. Bula to you too, all right? And yes, you do have to figure out a way to stop teams. They're doing that right now. Only 15 points in the fourth quarter for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Grant Napier with you here on the postgame. Again, the Kings trying to hold on here, all right, and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll keep you up to date. I know you're watching a game or whatever else, and happy to have you here on the stream. We got people in Chile watching. We got people in Fiji watching. We go all over the world. And, boy, how about that? A tip by Sabonis. And now it looks like the Kings are going to win this game. What a fourth quarter for the Sacramento Kings. What a fourth quarter. What a run. 103-95. Hard to believe the run that the Kings have made here in this quarter. That's big time. That's a big-time run. What is that, 16 unanswered? 16 unanswered. 16 unanswered. Good to have everybody here on the stream. It's going to soon be a very happy post-game show for the Sacramento faithful. Yeah, you will be able to light up that beam, all right, in just a little bit. And again, the Kings are going to win this game despite being awful from the foul line. That's a little surprising to me. Awful from the foul line. I'm looking at the most recent numbers here, but it doesn't happen very often when you can go 17 of 29 on the road from the line and win the game. But the Kings are going to win this game 103 to 95. All right. And again, a big time fourth quarter for the Sacramento Kings. Big time. Big time. Every year in the last 16 years, the Kings would have lost. All right. So, yeah. Absolutely. Good to have you with us right here on YouTube in the post-game show. All right. And how about that? The Kings are going to go 2-0. You're absolutely right against the Cavs. Murray, plus 23. Yeah, I noticed that. Big game. Big game. Absolutely. Absolutely for the Sacramento Kings. And what a run. What a run. Down 95 to 87. And they're going to run the table here. And they're going to end up beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's a big time win. You know, that is a big time win without De'Aaron Fox, without Terrence Davis. And it was good defense. Absolutely right. It was good defense. So we'll just wait officially for the final here. But very good, pretty amazing that the Cavaliers did not score, have not scored in the last 4 minutes. 17-0 run. That's big time right there. Yeah, light the beam is right. And I agree with this message. It was a good idea not having Fox play at 100%. You got to get healthy. You got Mitchell, who's, defensively, the guy's very good, but offensively, you can see he's limited, right? And that's a big time run. Final score, 106-95. It is so awesome having each and every one of you right here on a victorious post-game show for the Kings. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right? Big time win. 4 games left on the road trip. Things looking good in Sacktown. And you are absolutely right. You can light the beam. And it is officially now the postgame, as it's in the books as a final 106-95. We're brought to you by New Works Plumbing of Sacramento. Locally owned for over 20 years, New Works has a fix for you. For your plumbing needs and repairs, just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. How about that fourth quarter? How about that finish, right? How impressive was that finish? Big time. Yeah, everyone wants to light the beam. No Mitchell, but so what? No Fox, no Davis for Sacramento. Doesn't matter. Just go out and take care of business. That's all that matters. Yep, held them under 100, only 95 points. Man, how about that run at the end of the game? How about that run at the end of the game for the Sacramento Kings? On the road, bad free throw shooting, right? Davion's defense is so fun to watch, isn't it? I mean, he's limited offensively, okay? And it's just amazing to watch him get on the ball. It really is. So impressed, Yeah, Keegan is getting his groove back. Absolutely. And Sabonis, he's so good, He's so good. Let me bring up the box score here again. We'll go over some of the numbers, but Sabonis is really good. We know that, right? Let me look at his numbers here. So fun, all right? Light the beam is right. Light the beam. Great to have you here on YouTube. Sabonis, 37 minutes, 18 points. Not good from the line, though. Missed 6 free throws. But look at this. 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. How good is that, huh? Man. I mean, that's right. The Kings would have collapsed, and they would have collapsed, and they would have collapsed. But not in this game. Not this game. Big time. Big time win for the Sacramento Kings. 106-95. So great to have you here on YouTube Live. And everyone wants the beam lit, and why not? Keep it lit, right? You got the Knicks. You've got Philadelphia after that. Then you move on to Toronto, and then you close it out in Motown against the Detroit Pistons. You're right. Free throws. Free throws. Free throws. You know what? If the Kings had lost tonight, you know what we would have been saying? We would have said that they lost because they missed their free throws. All right? Listen, I've talked about this all the time. Sean, do not judge professional basketball players after a single game. It's not fair. You play 82 games. You can't judge professional basketball players after a bad game or two. All right. I've always said you go in 5-game increments. Go in 5-game increments. If you go in 5 games, then yes. Oh, my good friends in Fiji. Bula, bula. Win, win, win. Absolutely. Win, win, win. Yes, yes, yes. Love all the chat messages. Yes, no, it's better than a good win. It's a great win. All right. How would I rate the Kings win tonight? An A. You just beat a team that only had 1 loss on their home floor all year. Yeah, they were without their best player, but so what? The Kings didn't have Fox. They didn't have Davis. All right. Don't talk about Toronto yet. Don't worry about Toronto. Worry about the Knicks. All right. That's the next game on the schedule. Don't worry about Toronto. That's 3 games from now. All right. Don't worry about a game that's 3 games from now. All right. So what a way to start the weekend, huh? What a way to start the weekend. 14-10. And guess what, folks? 6-6 on the road for the Kings. Digest that for a minute. 6-6. Kings are becoming a good road team. And Domantas Sabonis, let's pray he never gets hurt. Man, he is so good. He is so good. Really, really good player. Really good player. All right. Again, we would appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share if you're on Facebook. Thank you, Grant. No, thank you, Dorian. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, take a time to like. Please subscribe. Almost at 5,000. Could be there after tonight. All right. And I'm getting over 10,000 people and combined on all 3 platforms watching these post-game shows. I had over 30,000 one night. So I'm happy to have the audience. Yeah, the Knicks, you got to take care of the Knicks. They won on the road tonight in Charlotte, 121-102. But 1 game at a time, folks. 1 game at a time. Are the Knicks good? No, but they're an NBA team. And they beat Cleveland a couple nights ago with Donovan Mitchell. And tonight they win on the road in Charlotte. So there you have it. All right. Marine wants to know, hey, Grant, did you ever thought before the road game Kings would have won? Yeah, I mean, I always think they can win any game, you know? Absolutely. I've always thought you can go win any game. It doesn't really matter who you're playing. If you go out and play hard, yes, you know? So shout out from Henderson tonight. Michael, good to have you on the stream as the Kings win at 106-95. All right, let's get you some numbers here. All right. So the Kings shoot very good. 53%, 48% from downtown. I mean, those are great numbers. 62% from the line is not. 20 of 32. All right, here are your bright spots. The whole team was a bright spot, but really, Sabonis 18 and 18. Harrison Barnes, 20 points. Keegan Murray, 18 and a plus 26. Mitchell only had 8 points, but guess what? He controls the game on defense. Kevin Huerter, 19 points, 3 of 7 from downtown. Really, really a good game. Kings with a big first quarter, all right? 31-20. And then a big fourth quarter, 27-15. Here's the stupidest message that we're going to get all night. Stupid. Really stupid. Unbelievable. San Diego checking in. Love that I can watch or listen to the post game with you. James, San Diego. You're living the good life. You're living the good life, buddy. San Diego. Wow. Yes, San Diego. Good for you. You know what? Good for you. My new favorite Kings post game show. Well, thank you very much. You know, thank you very much. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. You know what? If you have a problem with Mark Jones, call the Kings. All right. I didn't hire Mark Jones. I have nothing to do with Mark Jones. Weren't there years Kings only won 1 or 2 games on the road? There were years where they didn't win any games on the road. Do you know the Kings had a 43-game road losing streak once? Think about that. Think about that. 43-game road losing streak. Man, that was brutal. That was brutal. All right. Well, the Cavs fell apart in the fourth quarter. Again, they were without Mitchell, and that's huge. I mean, that's a big, big time loss, but I love what the Kings did without Fox tonight. All right. Hey, if somebody wants to hire me, I'll go work for them. All right. That was, Grant, that was disrespectful. No, it wasn't disrespectful. Your comment was stupid. All right. Sabonis is the best big man we've had since Weber. Am I wrong? No, he does it all. You know, he does it all. Absolutely does it all. All right. Again, 106.95. And how about that defense by Sacramento in the fourth quarter? 27-15. How about the run that they went on in the fourth quarter? And they end up with their 14th victory of the year against 10 losses. That alley-oop was incredible, you know? Someone says, it's great to see a win when the offense isn't playing its A game. Good teams can win in different ways. Very true. Very true. That's correct. That is for real, Eli. The Kings lost 43 consecutive road games. They won one road game. They were 1-40, and we were walking off the plane. That was the first year that the Kings had their airplane. Dick Motta was the coach. Kings went 1-40, and the last road game of the year, we're walking off the plane, airball one, and Dick Motta goes, man, it's a damn good thing we had our own airplane this year. We may have gone 0-41 on the road. It's one of the great lines I've ever heard in all my years of covering professional sports. Man, I'll never forget that. Yeah, Eli, they lost 43 consecutive games on the road. They snapped it in Orlando, and I'll never forget that. Jim Les was a hero in that game. Reggie Theus, all right, was playing with a Reggie Theus was on the Orlando Magic, all right? He's been hurt. He's been playing with an injury. That's why he did not play tonight. He's got a bad foot. Go out and play a game of basketball on a bad foot and then get back to me, all right? The Cavs were 11-1 on their home floor. Guess what? They're not 11-1 anymore. They're 11-2, all right? They are 11-2. Yes, you do get a chance to hear me. Jim Les, the head coach of UC Davis. How about that? Love Jim Les, one of my favorite players. All right. The story of Dick Motta. The great Earl Strom was officiating the game. Earl was one of the best referees, if not the best referee in the game. And Dick's down by 40 points, and he wants to get kicked out of the game. He doesn't want to be there anymore. So he gets a technical, and now if gets one more technical, he has to leave and doesn't have to watch. So Dick's yelling at the ref, yelling at Earl. Team's bringing the ball up the court. Earl blows his whistle and stops the game and walks over to Dick and says, Dick, shut the hell up and sit down. If I got to watch this crap, so do you. I'm not throwing you out of the game. I thought that was beautiful by Earl Strom. You know, Earl, one of the great referees ever in the NBA, and I actually did a game with him once in Orlando. It wasn't that game, and it was so much fun being. I loved Earl. What a great man Earl was. What a great man. You know, really phenomenal. The Kings get a road victory. We're here on YouTube Live. Come at me strong. If you like what you're seeing, like the show, subscribe, and join me for a lot of these games, all right? Absolutely. Grant, how do you feel about Mike Brown? I feel like he lost the team. Yeah, he clearly has lost the team. They're only 14-10. It's a great message there. Great message. Really good. Really well thought out there that he's lost the team at 14-10. I think that is a very astute analysis. I'm surprised you are not a professional broadcaster. Kings have to have a lot of heart if they want to win those games, and they have. No, Domas would have been a loss for the Kings. He makes everyone better. He makes everyone better. Plain and simple. All right? Plain and simple. Keegan needed to break out of this shooting slump. Yeah, very nice way. Absolutely. Good point. All right, good point. Well, thank you very much for Pam. Hey, Pam. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Oh, boy. Got to take my glasses off for that one. Oh, turn the sprinkler systems on. Kevin Herter is on fire. There you go. All right. Anything else you need? All right. I don't know what Murray's, or I don't know. I missed this one about the ceiling. We're going so fast I can't even keep up with all of the one said, is Murray's ceiling Chris Middleton? I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen him play enough games. His ceiling is pretty high though. His ceiling is pretty high. Love all the messages. No, you know what? See, go get greedy. Don't hope for a 3-3 trip. Hope for a 5-1 trip. Good teams don't think 3-3. Okay. Let's think 5-1. Get greedy. Get greedy. Don't be thinking that way. Okay. Think about 5-1 because you have a chance at 5-1. Okay. You have a chance. Oh boy. I don't know if I would have in this game. I save if you don't like that. You don't like Kings basketball for very special moments. I didn't do it every night. Okay. So I can't say. All right. But the Kings are 14-10. And that's what I do know. And I agree, one game at a time. Okay. Herter was fine tonight. He got his shot going late when he had to, made some big shots. 7 of 15, good percentage. 3 of 7, excellent percentage from 3. I'm fine with that. 19 points, I'm fine with that. Plus 14, I'm fine with that. Are you not? So, yeah, here's a really good message. For the first time in quite some time, I honestly felt we have a chance to win each night. I agree with you on that. I think that's spot on. I think you were absolutely spot on. Good job by that. That's a good one right there. All right. Where did I get my one-liners from? They just came out. They just happened. That if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball, it just happened one night and it caught on. And I mean, these things happen. I don't really, and when I say they happen, you don't really rehearse what you're going to say when you're doing a live event like a basketball game. All right. So when will we know if this team is for real or a mirage? They're for real right now. You don't play 24, 25 games and have the record that they have if you're not real. They're good. They're good. Yeah, I'd say the culture is good. You got very good players in that locker room. So absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Again, keep on coming with your messages. It's great to have you here. I also want to tell you that we are brought to you courtesy of Foster's and Paws. Check them out. They're a group of passionate animal advocates, and they work hard to save lives, and they primarily focus on those vulnerable dogs in shelters. They pull a lot of pregnant moms, nursing moms, bottle puppies, dogs with medical needs, and dogs in danger of being euthanized. And, they look at every family and every animal as individuals. They work with young children, and they need adopters, donors, and fosters. To learn more, just go to the website, fostersandpaws.org/adopt. All right. There you have it. I'll get that message off so you can see it clearly. fostersandpaws.org/adopt. And I'm grateful that they are on board here on If You Don't Like That. All right. The Kings win tonight, 106-95, and just an incredible fourth quarter for Sacramento. An incredible fourth quarter. Yeah, you got to improvise. You always have to improvise. Absolutely. All right? Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Please do check them out and tell them that you heard about them right here on If You Don't Like That. So that's great. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to everyone. Ryan is with his family for a weekend holiday getaway. So I'm very, very happy for Ryan and his family. Grant, it's amazing how much you love your fans. Explains all of the international fans that you have. I do love the fans. I love the fans from around the world. And whenever they came into Sacramento, I rolled out the red carpet for them. Okay. Eduardo was one of them. I actually had Eduardo When I met Eduardo, he came to the radio studios, and I met him, and he was so happy to be in Sacramento to watch his beloved Kings. Again, he flew all the way from Chile, and I actually put him on the radio with me. It was great. Merry Christmas to you as well. All right. I love when fans from around the world come to Sacramento. All right. Love them. Yeah, you remember that when I put Eduardo on the air? What a great guy. Eduardo, man, I appreciate you, and happy holidays, buddy. All right. I hope you're doing well. I really do. I hope you're doing well. Love hearing every opposing announcer mention the Kings' 16-year playoff drought, then say very complimentary things as the game progresses. Yeah. And, whenever I watch the Cavs, I think of Fred McLeod, my colleague, our colleague. Great guy. Love Fred. He was so passionate. And he was driving. His wife is a meteorologist on TV. And he was just driving in his car and didn't feel well and pulled over and called his wife. And they called medical personnel, and he died. And I'll tell you, what a great man. I always think of Fred McLeod and the Cavaliers whenever I see the Cavs. So I hope the McLeod family is doing okay this holiday season, as we lost Fred a couple of years ago. Really appreciate everyone's support. All right. Good for you, Eduardo. Really happy to hear that. And I'm happy that you're watching the streams. Adopt a pet from Foster's and Paws. Name suggestion, Beamer. Jay, how great is that? Beamer. That's exactly right. Love that. I love that. A little bit too early, Michael, to be talking about playoff seeds on December 9th. All right? A little bit too early for that. Okay? What advice do I have? They don't need my advice. Players know how to get ready for games. They know how to get ready for games. Boy, it's so much fun to do this. See all your comments. It's a good idea to see the Kings grow up and got matured in and through, or I think you meant tough road games. I would agree with that. It is fun to watch. I mean, they were down, 7 points, 8 points in the fourth, and they come on and they do that. My lawsuit, thank you for asking, is ongoing, and I appreciate that. I was wrong to the fullest extent, and I'm glad, Mark, for your support and so many others here on the stream. I think what happened to me was a travesty, an absolute travesty, and that's why I'm filing and have filed a suit in federal court. All right? Hey, Eduardo, I'm not ready for Christmas yet. What's wrong with you, Eduardo? Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love you fans. There's no way you'd be calling De'Aaron Foxy. I know it. Wow. Is that what they call him? Foxy? No. I can guarantee you that would not happen. Incredible. All right. Let's move along. Who's going to lock down Julius Randle? Yeah, he has been on a big time roll. That's a good question. Let's see who's playing and who's not playing yet. Absolutely. Do I have any plans to go to any games at the Golden One Center this year? I do not have any plans of going to a game, but thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I'm not sure why Kevin Huerter went to the locker room. I'll try to find out. All right. Awesome win. Yeah, it was an awesome win. So awesome to have so many people here on the stream. 106-95, and the Kings get the win, and they are now 14-10. All right. More messages. Would you ever come back to announce for the Kings if that offer came up? I'm keeping all of my doors open, Chris. Appreciate it. I'm keeping all of my doors open. All right. I'm not saying no to anything right now. Okay. I don't know about De'Aaron's availability. All right. It's December 25th. Yet I'm not ready. You know me. You're exactly right. Somebody asked me about these messages are coming in so fast. It's hard for me to keep up with everyone, but I don't know if De'Aaron's going to be ready for the game Sunday in New York. They said he's day-to-day. We'll find out. I don't think they'll know until Sunday. All right. But it's really a bonus that you can win and not have your point guard playing. Thank you very much. Love the support. Appreciate the support. I actually had a chance to announce, excuse me, NHL hockey. I filled in for the great TV voice of the Sharks, Randy Hahn, back in the 90s. And it was one of the real thrills of my career was doing the San Jose Sharks. I did a couple of games, including a game in the Great Western Forum with Wayne Gretzky playing for the LA Kings. And I announced college hockey for many years and loved and still do love hockey. So thank you for that. I was able to fulfill a lifelong dream of announcing in the National Hockey League. Do I plan on ever interviewing Kings players in the near future? Not at the moment. If we take this show to a different level, which I'm anticipating doing that, then yes, that might occur. All right. It's a good point right there. I think Harrison has been so steady after the first couple of games. Dan Rusanowski, the only announcer the San Jose Sharks have ever had. He's great. Any crazy Ron Artest stories from his times with Sacramento? I love Ron. All right. Love Ron. And I found him to be one of the nicest, generous people that I'd ever been around in all of my years of covering the NBA. I know there was a story when he first got to Chicago, okay? And they couldn't find him one summer. And he ended up getting a job at like an appliance store or something of that nature. And when they found Ron, they go like, "Well, why are you're an NBA player? What are you doing working in a department store or an appliance store?" And he said, "Well, if I work here, all my friends get discounts, so that's why I'm working here." That's Ron in a nutshell. I love Ron. I love Ron. First of all, I'm never going to call him Meta World Peace, Donald. He can call himself whatever he wants. To me, he's Ron Ron. He'll always be Ron Ron. The other great story about Ron is Scott Pollard talks about this story. After the Malice at the Palace in Auburn Hills, Ron, after a while, after everything had settled down, they were either on the bus or the plane. I can't remember that part. Goes to Stephen A. All right, or Steven Jackson, rather, not Stephen A. Steven Jackson, and says, "Bro, you think we're going to get in trouble for this?" And Steven Jackson looks at Ron and says, "F yeah, we're going to get in trouble." How about Ron? Do you think we're going to get in trouble for this? That's a classic, isn't it? That's a classic. All right. If you want to continue on, keep on hitting us up on the chat line. I do remember the 4-point play from Paul George that ended up winning the game. I do remember that. I'm not so sure Ron would be a good assistant coach. I don't know if Ron wants to do that. I really don't. I don't know. I keep in touch with a lot of the Kings coaches. I'm in touch with a lot of them. I'm in touch with Reggie Theus. Paul Westphal was a very good friend of mine. Rest his soul. I'm in touch with Keith Smart. I regularly message Dave Yeager and many other coaches, many assistant coaches in the league too. Many assistant coaches in the league that I'm very, very close with. So thank you. Appreciate that. I remember watching that game, Ron going in the stands and challenging the fans. And, Scott Pollard's one of my best friends. And, he wasn't playing in that game, but he tells me what it was like to be there and everything else. So that was something to get his perspective. Grant, do the live play-by-plays. You'll obliterate the current Kings announcers in terms of ratings. Eli, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how it would sound. I don't know how it would sound. That's the issue. I don't know how it would sound. Grant, some of my best memories of my father were from watching Kings games with him, with you on the call. Watching your post-game shows always makes me smile. Thank you. You make me smile too. I really appreciate that. There's something about watching games with your dad or your mom, but in my case, it was my dad. How many great memories we shared being at Yankee Stadium, Madison Square Garden, being at college games, watching bowl games on TV. There's just something, the bond. My dad worked in New York City. He had his own insurance business. And it took about an hour to get from Syosset into Manhattan via the train and everything. So my dad used to take the train back and forth. And football games were no problem because we always played our football games on Saturdays. But we played our lacrosse games on school days at 4:00. And lacrosse was my sport. I went to college to play lacrosse. And I was, not to brag, but I was a really, really good player. I broke my school record for most goals in a season. And the train station to the school was about 2 miles, but the closest place to park on the fields that we played at was not where you would park if you were going to high school, but you would park in a neighborhood. And I kid you not, every single lacrosse game that I had at home and on the road, my dad was always there. I would see my dad right as the game was starting, walking across the field with a fast gait. He couldn't run because he had blown out his knee playing college football at Union College for the great Hall of Famer Mel Hein. And my dad would be in his suit coming across the field. And if it was cold, he had his overcoat on, but he was always in a suit. My dad, in all of my years, did not miss one game. My dad was down in the Caribbean at a conference once, and he walked through a plate glass window in his hotel room because it was such a beautiful day. You could not see that, and they didn't have any markings on the glass. And my dad had a horrible injury, required surgery, his leg, it was bad. And when my dad got home and the lacrosse season started, I kid you not, my dad still went to my games. He had people wheel him out and put him up in a makeshift bed on the side of the field so he could watch me play lacrosse games. Never forget it, as long as I live. Never, ever forget it, ever. So when you talk about watching sports with your dad or your mom or your son or your daughter, whatever the case may be, to me, it didn't get any better than that. All right. So there you have it. All right. Let's get to some more messages. My family and I fell in love with sports in the early 90s because of you, starting with you doing 31 Action News, then started following the Kings, the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Here's one. Grant, the night in the Palace, my wife had just had our daughter, and I left the room to get her food. By the time I got back, it was over. My wife was pumped. She's from Michigan and is a Pacer fan. That's a hell of a story, Jim. Thank you for being on the stream. I enjoy sharing my stories. My dad was a legend. My dad's the greatest person I've ever been around in my life. I wish that the rest of the world would be like my dad. We wouldn't have any war. We wouldn't have any hatred. Racism would not exist. If everyone was like my dad, we'd live in an oasis of a world where everyone got along and there would be no violence and no hate. That's my dad. So thank you for that. All right, back to sports. What do you think the ceiling of this team will be if we remain relatively healthy all season? I think they could win the conference. I mean, there's no one that's dominant in the conference. The Kings won, Adam. The Kings won. They went on a big-time run to win, pulling away in the fourth quarter. Thank you very much for being on the stream. I actually have been approached, Sean, about writing a book, and I am very close to coming to an agreement. I'm waiting for my lawsuit to be resolved before I write my book because in all likelihood, part of my book will entail aspects of the lawsuit. And quite frankly, I'm not sure as I speak to you right now what I could make public and what I could not. And there will be some things that happen between now and then that would change aspects of my book. All right. So there you have it. The Kings defense, incredible tonight in the fourth quarter. It did take over in the final couple of minutes. Yes, it did. Man, I so love doing this. You fans are awesome. Here we are on a Friday night, all hanging out together. Incredible. All right. I don't know enough about whether it can be an audiobook or not, Cody, because I barely know. I don't know anything about doing this, but I would hope so. I would hope so. You know, I would hope so. If you don't like Grant, you don't like Kings basketball. Oh, boy. I'm not ready to jump on the 50-win bandwagon just yet. I think we need to wait a little bit on that. I have not spoken to Rick Adelman for a few years. Saw Rick, obviously, at the last game at Arco when he was there. So, yeah, I don't think this team's more talented than the 98 team. I don't agree with you on that. They're not more talented, in my opinion. But they are as exciting. They are as exciting. Hey, thank you very much, Rhett. Appreciate that. Really do appreciate it. Ryan is out with the family this week, and he's got a family commitment. He'll be back with me next week. Ryan needs a little personal time, too. We all do, right? I miss the Princeton offense. I miss Pete Carril. Rest his soul. Bless Coachy. What a great man. What a great, great, great man. What a great man. No, they did not do Rick Adelman dirty. That's false. It's absolutely incorrect. Okay. Rick had been here 8 years. Rick needed to do more with his part as it related to ownership. They did not do him dirty. All right. That's not true. And whoever says that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Put it in the book and send them to the line. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. All right. What else you want to talk about? All right. You want to fire me? Just give me some random questions, like on players or anything else. That 98 team was amazing. It turned around everything in Sacramento, and they became the darlings of the NBA. All right. Someone said, I just bet 1K to win 25 for the Kings winning the Pacific Division. Well, I hope you win. I hope you win. Hello from Vacaville. Hello, Richard. Richard, we got people watching from Chile. We got people watching from Fiji. I think the players have settled in and accepted their roles, Donald, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think his slump is really injury related. That's what I think. All right. He needs to get healthy. His foot clearly bothering him. And so there we have it. Hello to the Philippines. Oh, I love that. Mid-morning right now in the Philippines, right? Good morning over there in the Philippines. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. We got the volunteer state. Hello in Tennessee. That's where my brother lives. About 45 minutes outside of Knoxville. He and his wife retired in the great state of Tennessee where my mom was born on Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga. Love Tennessee. What a great state. A lot of great people there. So good for you. Great for you. Good for you. We got people watching all over the world. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Kings are playing well. I mean, you got to give everyone credit, You got to give all credit everywhere. You really do. You're right, Ivy. All lives do matter. And anyone that thinks otherwise needs to have their freaking head examined. All right. I'm not currently in California. I am in California a lot, though. Lydia, good to hear from you on the stream. Yeah, Kings really did need to close out a game like this, and the way they did it. Well, my favorite arena ever is Madison Square Garden because, it's the mecca of basketball. It's one of the great, it's the moniker is the most famous arena in the world, and I think it is the most famous arena in the world. But other than that, going to the old Chicago Stadium when Michael Jordan was playing there, man, nothing better than that. Nothing better from that. Nothing better at all. All right. Again, really appreciate everyone being on the stream. Ever? No. But it was a good one, Rhett. It was a good one. All right. All lives matter, every single one. You're right, Peter. I think most people that are able to think for themselves would agree with that. All right. I wouldn't put it past Shaq to bring a team to Vegas. You know, I wouldn't put it past him. Hello, in Reno. How's the weather up there? How we doing up there in Reno? Absolutely. You know what? I did not watch any of the World Cup games. Somebody wanted to know. Dorian, I'm sorry, buddy. I just don't get into the soccer like you do. But enjoy it. I'm glad that you're able to watch. You know, I'm glad. All right. What else do we have going on? I noticed the Jordan logo on the front of the uniform tonight. Is that new? I didn't notice it, so I'm not really sure. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did get a chance to talk with Dusty Baker via text, and we had a nice little chat. I'm going to actually reach out to Dusty and get him on YouTube here in January before he goes back to work. So I'm really hopeful that he will agree and we'll go on and we'll talk about it. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hope you have a fabulous, fabulous holiday. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Man, I'm getting so many messages. Okay, maybe you can help this. Can you explain why Kings games are blacked out for me when I live in Vegas? I noticed all the games were either Laker games, because the Lakers, that's their market. Vegas is the Lakers market. And because it's their market, unless you have the league pass, you won't get the games. Arco or Golden One, there's nothing like Arco Arena. Nothing like that for crowd environment and everything else. All right. Stop it with the playoff talk. It's December. Okay. If Sabonis gets hurt, you might have a whole different tune. So let's not go playoffs just yet. Wengen, Michael, Wengen, Switzerland, in the Jungfrau region. One of the great, prettiest towns anywhere in the world. Wengen, V-E-N or W-E-N-G-E-N, Wengen, Switzerland. What a great, still can't believe that happened. His little oasis is what he called it. David Stern. Without David Stern, I wouldn't be on the stream right now because the Kings wouldn't have a team. Hey, Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, Tom. Thank you very much for being right here on the stream. David Stern, Kevin Johnson. Without those two, we're not on. You know what, Rhett? That's not cool. I'm not a soccer fan, but it's a sport. All right. And it's the most popular sport in the world. So let's stop it with that. All right. Absolutely. All right. Let's move along. And here's one. Me and my brother cheat and use NBA League Pass on the internet and works for us for free. Well, good for you, Donald. But now it may not because you've told the world that you're cheating and they'll come after you. Yes. All right. Yes, the Kings actually beat the Bulls in Chicago. Rodney McRae, I remember, had a huge game against Michael Jordan at Chicago Stadium. Yes, they did. Absolutely. What do I miss the most about working with the Kings? Two things. I miss the people. I have so many friends there, so I miss that, and I miss the fans. That's what I miss the most. That's what I miss the most. Well, thank you very much, Ivy. Appreciate it. Really appreciate you being here. Yeah, go Sac State. Could be the biggest game in school's history, you know? Could be the biggest game in school history. So good luck to the Hornets. Absolutely. All right. Man, this is fun. Amazing. It's not surprising that Richaun Holmes didn't play tonight. The game was close until there were 4 minutes left. All right. So I don't agree with you on that. Well, thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me here on the post-game show. If I can't call the games, I can at least be right here and we can talk about it and everything else. So final score, the Kings get the win on an amazing fourth quarter run to close out the Cleveland Cavaliers 106-95. It was 95-87, and they held the Cavs to 15 fourth quarter points. That's big time. That's big time, right? Pretty darn impressive. 31-20 at the end of one. Cavs with a big second quarter. 29-18. 31-30 Cavs in the third, and the Kings outscore the Cavs 27-15 in the fourth. All right? There you have it. This swing's not that bad. Wasn't that bad. All right. What are my thoughts on the upcoming game in New York? Great question. Knicks are playing better. Don't know if Fox is playing yet. Fox owns Madison Square Garden, so if he does play, I can tell you right now he will have a big game. He always has a big game at Madison Square Garden. I miss my golf hour too. I'll tell you what, Cody, maybe I can get Hagen Oaks to sponsor a golf hour here on YouTube. What do you think about that? Would you be for that? If I can do that, we do a golf hour once a week here on YouTube. Reach out to the good folks at Hagen Oaks and ask them if they would be interested in doing a golf hour once a week right here, and we can have some fun. What do you think? I like that suggestion, Cody. Absolutely. Does Sean golf? You're talking about Sean Salisbury? Yeah, he gets out and hits the ball around. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. All right? Absolutely. No, the Knicks do not have a better defense than the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right? I tell you, if De'Aaron Fox can play, he's going to play, Lydia. He loves playing at MSG and always seems to play very, very well. Bula. Thank you. Bula. Bula to everyone in Fiji. I didn't know we had so many Kings fans from Fiji. What a beautiful, beautiful country. Love Fiji. All right? Nothing beats listening to Grant after a Kings game, especially if it's a win. My favorite players of all time, Vlade, Spud Webb, Reggie Theus, Wayman Tisdale, Scott Pollard, probably those five. There are many more that I could put in there and switch in and out for. I mean, Michael Yogi Stewart, one of my favorite players. I mean, I hate doing this because then if anyone's, what do you mean you didn't include me on the list? I loved the 32 years and all the people. Walt Williams, love Walt. Lionel Simmons. Dwayne Causwell was a great guy. Danny Ainge was one of my favorites. You're right. I got to include Danny. I forgot about Danny because he was there a short period of time. Danny was one of my all-time favorites. Isaiah Thomas, one of my favorites. What a consummate professional. There's so many. All right. So many. My lawsuit is ongoing. And as soon as I have an update, Paul, I will pass it on. All right. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Lionel Simmons. What a great guy. Jason Thompson. Great guy. You know, great guy. You know, great guy. And I did love the L Train, even though he's from Philadelphia. So there you have it. All right. 106-95. The Kings win. I hope you have a fabulous. You know what? I love Olden Polynice. OP was on my podcast. It was an interesting podcast. We covered a lot of stuff. So there you have. Jim Les. Jim Les is one of my favorite Kings of all time, and is a good friend of mine. You know? I mean, I can go on and on. I could sit here for 5 hours naming you all the really good people that I've met that I consider a friend. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you listening to the show. But yeah, Jim Les for sure. I mean, it's great. Again, I've been blessed. I've met so many great people. You know, someone said Bobby Hurley. Yeah, Bobby Hurley. I mean, got to know Bobby, and what a great guy Bobby is. Just happy that he had his life, which was almost taken away from him. Thank you very much, Andre. Appreciate your support. You know, Ryan Anderson is one of my all-time favorites. And you're right. I wish he played in Sacramento too. All right. What is the story behind your photo with Isaiah Thomas in your show intro? No, he's just warming up before a game when he was with, I believe, Denver maybe, or Cleveland. I can't remember. And we shared a laugh and someone caught the picture, and I just thought it would be fun to put on my open because he's such a great guy. You know, Mikey Moore, number 33, not Mickey, Mikey. You know, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. There you have it. I'm going to adjourn for the weekend. You all are the freaking best with a capital B. And remember this, okay? As we get to the weekend, you only need to remember one thing. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like Kings basketball. Oh, boy. And on that note, I say, So long, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here on the stream. If you don't like that, with Grant Napier.